So here we are at the actual stable area. This is where the Kentucky Derby winner is?
Yes, he is just down this shed row.
Okay, and about how many horses are here waiting?
We had a few come in on Monday. 4 of them came in on Monday, including California Chrome. And an interesting story, I got one of the luckiest shots you could ever get on my own personal camera. I got a picture of him sticking his tongue out, and I posted it on my Facebook page, and Preakness reposted it. That photo has over 14,000 likes. It's been shared over 4,000 times. It's been viewed over 600,000 times. It's like it really took off, and he was basically sticking his tongue out at the media. And I don't know if he was saying, you know, come and get me or what, but they hang out here all day, and then in the afternoon sometimes they're taken out to graze. But they go to the racetrack every morning just to kind of stretch their limbs. They jog or gallop around the track. Then they'll come back here to the stables, they'll get a bath, and they'll get their breakfast, and then they hang out in the stall the rest of the day. And it's pretty peaceful here most of the afternoon. And then they are left alone at night, and then the next morning they go back to the racetrack until it's time to race.
And just because I know we've got a lot of women watching, a lot of animal activists, a lot of people who care about the animals and who wonder about the business behind this, I can vouch. I am here. I used to ride. The stables are, you know, pristine. There's all kinds of people around here to make these horses happy and healthy. But can you tell us a little bit about the care the horses get and, you know, the treatment? They're really the rock stars of the event.
Yes, they are.
So people can be reassured that they're well taken care of when they're here?
They are very well taken care of. And these horses, to the people that are around them, it's like their children, and they take good care of them. A lot of them have their own personal chiropractors. Some of them have massage therapists. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that they do to keep the horse really happy and comfortable. It's up to the trainer to understand the horse's personality and what he needs. Some horses who are a little more nervous, they might get him a pet. I've seen horses that have their own private goat that stays with them just to keep them entertained. Some of them have friends, like another pony that they like
a hookup.
Yeah, and they stable beside them, and that horse travels everywhere with them. It's like their best friend, so they take them with them. But they're groomed every day, they're exercised every day, they're fed a balanced diet, they're given veterinary care, and if they retire to the breeding shed, I wish someday I could live in a house as nice as some of these farms have for these stallions. $1 million barns, and these horses are, you know, not only valuable commodities, but they're well loved by the people that take care of them. So if you're here on a daily basis, they are very, very well looked after.
And it's a really peaceful environment. It's interesting that we're in the heart of Baltimore City. This is, you know, Baltimore gets a bad rap for being a violent city. You know, too many people have watched too many episodes of The Wire, but this tradition is really some of the glory of Baltimore. I mean, we are in the heart of Baltimore City, and it does give you a sense of pride that, you know, 120,000 people are going to descend upon, you know, Pimlico, and around the world people are going to watch. This is the second in the Triple Crown, the first being the Kentucky Derby, the second is Preakness, and the third is, of course, Belmont Stakes. And so who's the favorite?
California Chrome is the favorite.
Okay.
He was the favorite to win the Kentucky Derby, and he will be a very strong favorite to win the Preakness. And one of the things about him that makes him a very serious threat in this race, horses have different running styles. Some like to go to the front, some like to lay off the pace early on and make one big run, and they are very dependent on who else is in the race. So if you go to the front and someone else pushes you, you get tired. If you linger around in the back of the pack, you need the horses in front of you to go fast enough to give you a chance to make up the ground. He can go from anywhere. So if the pace is slow, he can lay just off the early runners and kind of press the pace. If the pace is fast, they're able to rate him a little bit and take him back. So he doesn't need the race to develop in any certain way in order to run his race, which makes him a very dangerous threat. And he looks great. One of the things that you look for when the horses come here after the Derby, do they look skinny? Did it look like the race took too much out of them? Did they lose too much weight? He feels good. He acts like he feels good. He looks good. When he came off the van the other day, he stood and looked like this at the media, like, okay, you may photograph me now, and then he walked onto the shed row. So he's kind of a ham. am, but that's makes them fun to be around.
I love horses. That's the great thing about them is they're really, I think, the most human of animals. They have their distinct personalities. So hopefully we're going to have a triple crown winner on our hands. Let's keep our fingers and toes crossed.
It's been since 1978.
1978. Was that Secretariat?
That was a firm. Secretariat was 73.
Okay.
Then we had one in 77, and then the last one in 78. That was a firm.
Awesome. So we're due. We're due for a win. Baltimore's due for a win. So let's talk a little bit about Black-Eyed Susan Day, because that's really something else that you've kind of been put in charge of, and it's really become like any woman I talk to who's anybody, it's like, what are you wearing a Black-Eyed Susan Day? Are you going to be there? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to be there. That's a great day.
It's a fun day. It's the ultimate girls' day out, and it's a lot like the tradition of the Kentucky Oaks. The Kentucky Oaks is run the day before the Kentucky Derby, and that's also kind of a day for the girls. Well, the Black-Eyed Susan race itself is for 3-year-old fillies. The Preakness is for all 3-year-olds, and occasionally a filly will run, like Rachel Alexandra, who won a few years ago. We do have a filly running in the Preakness this year, but the traditional race for the 3-year-old fillies is the Black-Eyed Susan the day before the Preakness. So that day has always been about the girls. Well, we decided last year, being the Maryland Jockey Club, to open the infield for the first time on Black-Eyed Susan Day. Had some great musical acts, and this year we have The Fray, Annie Bosco, and Counting Crows.
I can't believe it, Counting Crows.
I know, I'm so excited. I love
like
them.
My entire like 80s, late 80s life, you know, I always wondered what I'd be doing when I would listen to the Counting Crows 20 years later, and I think I'm going to be having a pretty darn good time.
We just don't want them to sing Rain King tomorrow, right?
No,
on Friday,
King,
right?
No Rain King.
We also have a vendor village full of primarily female-owned businesses.
Great.
We support several charities on Black-Eyed Susan Day. Suited to Succeed is a Baltimore charity that we are partnering with, and also Susan G. Komen, Maryland. So we have had a series of fundraisers leading up to the event to raise money for those causes, and then we'll also raise money that day. We have a fashion show in the afternoon for Komen survivors, cancer survivors. We have local boutiques that have donated an outfit for each survivor. So there's a lot of activity. We have Mariel Hemingway giving an address at a networking function. So we're trying to build a lot more activity, not just for Preakness Day, but for Black-Eyed Susan Day as well, with a lot of things to do, and have you come out, whether you're a business owner or you just want to come out with your friends and watch some horses run. There's so much to do on Black-Eyed Susan Day.
It is a fun day, and I have to tell you, when you look at the wealth of rubber chicken lunches you can go to network or to take a client to, I find Black-Eyed Susan Day is just an amazing opportunity. I know a lot of people I know are bringing tables full of clients, or they're bringing their staff, and it's great. You can get dressed up. Not as much pressure for the outfit as there is on Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about etiquette, what to wear. What should the ladies be wearing if it's the first time they come to either Black-Eyed Susan or Preakness Day? What do you, knowing this stuff, and kind of you do it all over the country, so what do you wear?
Well, I'm from Kentucky, so I love hats, and I used to be on camera at the Maryland Jockey Club for years, and starting Kentucky Derby Day and every day through Preakness, I wore a big hat, and the bigger the better. So I wear work clothes during the morning because we're going to go out and set up a bunch of tables this afternoon and move a bunch of bike rack and things like that. And then as the day progresses, I usually wear some kind of like A-line cut dress with a hat, and it depends on the weather too. So if we do end up getting rain Friday, it's not supposed to rain on Saturday, probably flats if you're coming to the Turfside Terrace, the Corporate Village, or the infield, because you are on grass. So unless you want to kind of sink in your heels, wear, you know, maybe a platform
or a wedge.
A
wedge is always
something
good for that.
Right, exactly.
You can definitely, you know, then you won't be like sinking in.
Exactly.
And it's not like a polo match. You're not going to go and tap in any divots. Like, you know, this is a little bit different thing.
And you are under tents in most of the areas too. So I think, you know, it's a great chance to get out some spring fashions and, you know, lots of color. And we do see a lot of people in the traditional Black-Eyed Susan colors, the yellow, the black, and the white. But I think you'll see also a lot of pink on Friday.
Yeah, that, of course, great occasion to wear it. So let's talk a little bit about how you kind of, you know, make all this happen leading up to Preakness, because it's a big crunch like the month of, the day before. But, you know, when do you start planning? When do you start thinking, okay, this is how I'm going to see the infield. This is how I'm going to see Black-Eyed Susan Day. This is how I'm going to like put my team where the day of, make sure everything goes smoothly. When does that process start for you?
We have a meeting in June after the May event, and we talk about what went particularly well, what are the areas of opportunity to improve, and things that we would like to change for the next year, and then that kind of puts the thinking cap on about what direction we want to go in. We will start pretty regular planning meetings in August, the year prior to the next Preakness. We like to have our bands finished by the end of this year. So we will be working on our music acts when they're planning their spring tours in the fall of this year. And then we have various committee meetings that really ramp up starting in January that we meet about every 2 weeks, and then we just talk about our general ideas and then getting down to the details of actual execution and how do we make these things happen, and reach out to great partners like My City for Her and say, how can we help promote this event and how can we reach the audience that we want to reach, and those things start well in advance.
Awesome. Now I have to ask you about the handicapping, because what people don't know is Kimber is a handicapping rock star. And first of all, what is handicapping?
Handicapping is being able to pick a horse that you think is going to win the race, read the racing form, and do some analysis. Unlike betting at a casino where you pull a handle or a ball spins and you really have no control whatsoever over the outcome, you can, theoretically, with some study, figure out how a horse race is going to be run, and it gives you a better chance to cash a ticket and make some money.
So anybody who thinks blonde women don't have it up here, I mean, it sounds like reading the stock market pages a bit. So what would be your top 4 tips to have a great Preakness, great Black-Eyed Susan day? What would be the top 4 things you would suggest?
I would suggest getting here early, so that you can have plenty of time to park, get in your seat, get settled, enjoy definitely a Black-Eyed Susan during the day.
We'll be posting a recipe for that if we haven't done it already. Keep looking at the blog.
And get your glass, because it's a collector's item every year. They're dated, so you definitely need to do that. Make your way, regardless of whether you're sitting in the corporate village, the Turfside Terrace, a grandstand seat, a clubhouse seat, make your way to the infield at some point during the day and catch one of the bands, because it's a great experience. And the other thing is enjoy the horses. Have a great time. I don't care if you pick by the color of the silks or the jockey's name or the horse name or your favorite number. I used to do this for a living, and I took a friend first time out to the racetrack, and he said, I'm going to bet this horse, the 8 or whatever it was. And I said, this horse hasn't won a race in 2 years. She has a full cut blinker, which means she can't even see out of one eye. This horse will never win. Of course, she wins and pays $100, and I didn't cash a ticket the whole day. So I think the bottom line is just come out and enjoy yourself and have a great time.
Incredible, amazing Preakness. This is going to be bigger, better, and an incredible day. And we're with Kimber Goodwin, who is the president CEO of Blonde Marketing. She's the brains behind Preakness. Yes, it is a team effort, but this lady pulls it together, makes it happen, and looks great doing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monyka.
And I'm going to ask you for one last thing, because we ask everybody who's a guest on the show, what's the best business advice you've ever gotten, and why?
Wow. I don't know if it's business advice particularly, but I think the best life lesson I have learned is nothing comes for free, and work hard for everything you get, and don't be afraid to work hard, and don't be afraid to partner with other people and support other women in their business endeavors. I think is incredibly important. But my philosophy has always been hard work eventually will pay off.
And you make the hard work look easy, and you look great doing it. Thank you so much, Kimber, for being with us. We'll be looking for you in the infield. I have a funny little story to tell about the infield. My 79-year-old mother, her dream was to come to Preakness, and I brought her here for her 75th birthday. And her thing, the whole thing, we were with the mayor. We were guests of the mayor that day, and she wanted to go to the infield, and she had a blast. So I'm telling you, she knows a good thing when she sees it, and I'm sure she would enjoy it if she was here with me today. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.